Welcome to Hamilton County TV. I'm Perry Williams, and it's time for the Jake Gilbert Show, head coach of Westfield Shamrocks. Welcome, Coach.
Welcome back, Perry. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Coach, last week, second game of the season at home against Lawrence Central, a good opponent.
Yeah,
let's talk a little bit about that.
They, they're 0-2, but that's a good football team. They beat Warren Central last year in the sectional. They returned like 18 starters. They played Hamilton Southeastern, who we have tremendous respect for, to a 12-7 game in week 1. So they have a defensive lineman going to LSU. I think they have an elite linebacker. We knew about that. They have a slot receiver who's actually going to be a shortstop for University of Alabama, and then a quarterback. I just thought was a great competitive kid, good athlete, good competitor. So we knew that our hands would be full, and they were. But we had enough. We came out on top. It wasn't the prettiest of victories, but it was a win all the same. So it was good to show some improvement from week 1 to week 2 and get our first win of the season.
Yeah, we have to realize, too, it is week 2, okay? And not too many championships are won in the second, second week of the season. But let's talk a little bit about your offense, and then we'll switch over to the defense,
Sure.
talk a little bit about some of the guys that played outstanding in that ball game.
Yeah, the offense was really strong. We scored a lot of points against the defense that's really good. I'm not sure that defense will give up that many points again, to be honest. But the only time we really got stopped when we kind of stopped ourselves. We had way too many penalties, and we turned the ball over 3 times. But I thought Cole Ballard was outstanding. So I want to start there. Cole ran for 2 touchdowns. They were fast. He threw for 3 touchdowns. So he was tremendous. I felt like up front we really handled them and what they did. We were a little nervous about the pass rush and some of those things. Alex Ashley was player of the game. Now, there's not a whole lot of times that the right tackle gets player of the game, but I just want to really brag on that kid. I feel like he was outstanding, and he played like he's capable of playing, which is potential scholarship offensive lineman. So really happy with him. I thought Michael Clifford made some good improvements. Felt like our left tackle, Ryan Barker, played great considering he didn't get to practice much all week due to injury. So I was really happy up front with our guys. Mason Likovitz played well. And then, the sophomore held his own against a really good player. So Isaac Cole, kudos to him. So I was happy with the guys up front. The tight ends were dominant. Max Nosler had a huge game.
Yes.
And so he's not a secret anymore. He just couldn't play last year because he was injured, or else he would have been out there. But, I just feel great about where he's at. Max had a couple long gains and touchdowns. And then Gabe, Aaron Bowles, he didn't practice much all week because he got hurt in the end of the New Pal game. And so he was critical to our success. Obviously a long touchdown and explosive plays there. So pretty happy. I was happy with the running game. I thought Terry Williams ran really hard.
He did.
I'm happy with the offense. The offense needs to clean up some penalties, get the turnovers out of there. We've probably turned over more in 2 games than we did all last year, so we got to get that fixed. But other than those 2 big things, we've been great offensively.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, that's a big win, and you were 1-1 in non-conference games, which is good, just like we said. But now you start with the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, and you start with a very good team in Scott Turnquist's Zionsville Eagles.
Yeah, Zionsville's undefeated, 2-0. Rivalry for us, so rivalry games are always close. I'm sure it'll be close. I think they're well coached. They're going to be good on special teams. They're going to be sound in what they do, and we're going to have to improve ourselves. So our focus is really on cleaning up these penalties, tackling better, and just taking our team to the next level.
Yeah, and one of the things I was noticing here, one thing, their quarterback Abney is very, very good.
He's the real deal.
Yeah, both throwing the ball and running
Yeah.
the ball. So that's very, very capable there, and they have some kind of a mixed bag of receivers. One being a sophomore that's put up 115 yards in 2 games. So
They've got, Abney's a great player. He's 6'6". He throws it well. He's going to play tight end in college, but he's going to Ball State, so he's a Division I athlete. So I like him. I think they like him too. They should. The receivers, they have a good mix. Eugene Hilton, familiar name for people in Central Indiana. He's explosive and fast, and he's about 6 foot. They've got a little guy in the slot who I think is really good, number 1. And then they've got a couple taller guys. Offensively, they graduated a great running back.
yes,
in the last 4 years, Colin Price. But this receiving core and that quarterback, the quarterback's probably going to be asked to run it a little more than what they've done in the past because they had Colin Price. Well, I really like their quarterback and receivers.
What about their defense? What will you see from the Zionsville defense?
Yeah, traditional sound. I think they're pretty good in the back end. I like Zionsville. Seems to always have good safety play. They do a good job with that at that school, but they're good in the back end. I don't think they're going to give up a whole lot of explosive plays. They didn't against some of the teams they've played so far, and I think they're just very sound. And they're not real exotic. Just pretty good at what they do. They're going to play 4-3, cover 4, and they're going to mix and match a little bit and some coverage wrinkles and some things, and have some blitzes, but not overboard. Good sound football team.
And of course, you're at home. That always helps. That crowd last week was unbelievable. Just the atmosphere and everything, and especially after the game and stuff. And I took that picture from the press box up there of the team and the students and everything behind you. That you have a great support here at Westfield. I'm very blessed to have it.
We are very blessed. The support, they have supported us over the years, win or lose, and we're very grateful. So when we built this stadium, it was twice as big, and I said, well, we'll never fill that. But by gosh, we fill it standing room only all the time. And, that's not counting the million little kids running around under the bleachers. So we are very grateful to have the support we have, and it's awesome to be at home.
On a good sidelight, we were broadcasting, and we kind of triple teamed last week. Jack Russell, who normally does your games here on the play-by-play, and myself, we were here, and we also had Craig Atkins with us, of the Hamilton County Reporter, and he did the broadcasting, and so I just kind of gave him scores and talked a little bit, but those two guys handled the action. But the one thing we were joking about on the air was the truck that you had pulled in for the ice cream had a line from the beginning to the end, probably 50 to 100 people deep. I'm serious.
It made out. Well, we
yeah.
had so many penalties that the game took forever. It's about the longest game I've ever been a part of. Definitely the most penalties. So, I think our concessions and vendors probably made the heyday.
Yeah, it was a good
Glad
night.
we could support the community.
Yeah. And the one thing about there was, it was a very, very long game because there were a lot of games that was finished up long before yours. Of course, your neighbor to the west there, Sheridan, of course, they run the ball all the time. So Bud was about the first final score. The final score. But Coach, the atmosphere was great against Lawrence Central, and I'm sure it's going to be great against Zionsville, being a rivalry and going to be a good football game.
I would expect a very good football game. I do. I think two teams that don't make tons of mistakes, and should be a little cleaner than what we've been. Hopefully our tackling will improve and our penalties will go down, but Zionsville's not going to give us a whole lot of freebies. They're just too well coached. So I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be should be a great Friday night.
Well, thanks a lot, Coach, I know you've had a busy morning already, so I appreciate you taking time out, and good luck Friday night against Zionsville.
Yeah, thanks so much. Go Rocks.